Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're doing something really fascinating. We're exploring this collection called Val's Food Notes.
Yeah, it's quite an unusual set of notes.
Right. And our mission is basically to unpack how everyday foods can give us these, well, extraordinary insights into a subpersonality called Val.
It's all about using culinary metaphors, things we eat, to understand character traits in a really deep way.
It promises to be quite revealing. You might end up looking at your kitchen pantry a bit differently after this.
I think so. These notes aren't just describing Val, they're using foods as, like, living symbols for parts of her personality. It's a creative way to grasp complex traits.
Okay, let's dive in. First up, grapes. According to Val's notes, grapes are all about, what was it, pressure, fermentation, and legacy.
Exactly. And it's interesting how the grape itself, Vitis vinifera, sort of embodies this. It starts as this, plump fruit with potential,
Hmm.
but it's under pressure through crushing and fermentation that it becomes something else entirely. Something like wine, which is profound, enduring.
Yeah, that transformation is key. And it's not just any fruit. Grapes have this incredibly long history, right? Going back over 8,000 years.
That's right. To the Near East, places like modern Turkey, Georgia, Armenia, Iran, we have evidence of winemaking in Georgia from around 6000 BCE. That's ancient.
Wow. So that history, that lineage, directly feeds into Val's idea of legacy.
Absolutely. From the Caucasus, grapes spread out Egypt, Greece, Italy, thanks to trade routes like the Silk Road, and also sea traders like the Phoenicians and Romans.
So they became really significant culturally.
Hugely significant. Symbols of abundance, fertility, divine favor. You find wine in Egyptian tombs, Dionysus worship in Greece. Grapes were part of daily Roman life. This isn't just food, it's deeply symbolic.
And that symbolism carries through. Like in Christianity, wine represents sacrifice transformation.
Right, the blood of Christ. And even in Islamic poetry, wine appears metaphorically, symbolizing perhaps spiritual intoxication, despite prohibitions on alcohol itself.
It really drives home that idea of grapes being a hard-earned reward. There's a whole process involved.
Yes, the planting, the waiting, the nurturing, the harvesting. It takes patience, care. It mirrors growth, development.
Which connects back to Val's own journey, presumably.
Precisely. Grapes need specific conditions, often thrive in Mediterranean climates, hot summers, mild winters. But they also face challenges.
Like what?
Oh, fungal diseases, powdery mildew, botrytis pests like the famous grape phylloxera that devastated European vineyards, and weather issues like drought or hail. They have to endure.
So that pressure isn't just metaphorical, it's literal for the plant, too. And that endurance, that resilience, maybe helps develop the character of the grape.
You could definitely say that. It pushes the grape to develop complexity. And think about the variety. You have sweet table grapes like Thompson seedless, then tart, tannic wine grapes like Cabernet Sauvignon or Chardonnay, designed for making wine, and raisin grapes like sultanas.
And even wild grapes versus cultivated ones, right? The wild ones are usually tougher, smaller.
Exactly. And then you have hybrids created for specific traits, like Concord grapes for juice and jelly, or those cotton candy grapes that taste surprisingly sweet.
They show up everywhere in cooking, too.
Oh, absolutely. Italian cakes, Greek dolmades using the leaves, French tarts, raisins, and Moroccan couscous. You can eat them raw, cook them, dry them into raisins, ferment them into wine or vinegar, even pickle the young leaves.
It's a huge global industry now, billions of dollars.
Definitely. Think of wine tourism in places like Napa, Bordeaux, Tuscany, and even in health trends, grapes are big antioxidants like resveratrol, good for heart health, anti-aging.
They're pretty iconic. Any surprising facts about them?
Well, they're about 77% water, which might surprise some people. A single vine can yield maybe 20 pounds of grapes per season, and that Armenian winery discovery, over 6,000 years old. It just shows their incredible staying power.
Okay, so wrapping up grapes for Val, what's a core takeaway from the notes?
The notes describe grapes as deceptively soft. They look simple, but crush them, let them ferment, and they become wine, something with history, depth, transformation woven in. So for Val, it's that pressure, fermentation, legacy.
It's a really potent metaphor. She's not just what you see on the surface.
Right. She contains multitudes, as the notes say. Sweetness, yes, but also tannins, acidity, complexity. She processes her experiences, ferments them into something refined, lasting.
And that key phrase,
Crush me and I'll become legend.
it's powerful.
It really is. It suggests that challenges don't break her, they make her legendary.
Exactly. The raw grape is her potential. The wine is her honed vision, her mastery achieved through trials. The vineyard represents her structured life, her commitment to growth. And just like wine improves with age.
Time concentrates her purpose. It doesn't weaken her.
Precisely. Wine doesn't rush. Its complexity deepens over time.
That's a fantastic connection. Okay, let's shift gears. From the grape's transformative journey to something, well, maybe a bit more rugged. Yep. Broccoli. Yes, broccoli. Brassica oleracea varvar, Italica. For Val, the notes say it's the emblem of resistance and fortification.
Interesting. It is kind of sturdy looking, isn't it? That thick stalk, those tight green buds.
It is. And like Val's more rugged side, it's often underestimated but possesses this real internal strength. It's part of the mustard family, Brassicaceae.
Where did it come from originally?
Also the Mediterranean, like grapes in a way, but specifically Italy. It was developed from wild cabbage plants maybe around 2,000 years ago. They selectively bred for those edible flower buds.
So it's a human creation, in a sense.
Very much so. It spread with the Romans, who valued it for health, healing, strength. Then it got to England later, maybe the 1700s, and came to America with Italian immigrants in the 1800s.
Does it have the same kind of rich mythology as grapes?
Not really ancient myths, no. But its modern symbolism is quite strong: health, vitality, natural resilience. It represents a kind of sturdy, grounded strength.
And where is it mostly grown now?
Major growers include the U.S., especially California, China, which is the world's largest producer, Italy, Spain, Mexico. It likes cooler weather, generally.
With your weather, right. Needs good soil, sunlight.
Yeah, well-draining soil, rich in organic matter, plenty of sun. But it can be tricky. It's susceptible to pests like cabbage worms and aphids, some fungal diseases, and it doesn't love extreme heat.
So it has its own challenges, its own need for resilience?
Absolutely. That perseverance is part of its symbolism for Val. It's a hardy plant. We have different types, too. The common calabrese, sprouting broccoli, which can be purple or white, and broccolini.
Oh, yeah, broccolini. That's a hybrid, isn't it?
It is. A cross between broccoli and Chinese kale, known for being a bit milder, sweeter.
And people use broccoli in so many ways.
Incredibly versatile. Stir fries, roasted, steamed, soups, pasta, casseroles. You can eat it raw in salads or with dip, too. It holds up well.
When's the best time to get it fresh?
It's mainly a cool season crop, so harvests are typically in spring and fall in temperate areas. That's when it's at its peak tenderer, maybe a bit sweeter. Hot weather can make it bolt or taste bitter.
Is there like a broccoli festival?
Apparently there is. The notes mention one in Washington, D.C., focused on sustainability and culture. It shows its modern relevance.
And it's a big crop economically.
Oh, yes.
Oof.
Significant impact, especially for California and China. And its status as a superfood makes it very prominent in health trends.
Right, the anti-cancer properties, detoxification.
Exactly. It's packed with nutrients. It actually has more protein per calorie than beef, which is surprising.
Really, more than beef?
Per calorie, yes. And it's a great source of sulforaphane, that compound linked to cancer prevention.
Any other fun facts? Didn't the president famously dislike it?
Ah, yes. President George H.W. Bush made his dislike quite public. But on the other end of the scale, the world record for the largest head is apparently over 35 pounds, grown in Alaska.
35 pounds, that's a lot of broccoli.
It certainly is. And nutritionally, it's a powerhouse. Vitamin C, K, A, fiber, potassium, folate. Good for bones, heart, digestion, immunity.
And the part we eat is actually flower buds.
Immature flower buds, yes.
Yeah.
If left to grow, they'd open into small yellow flowers. It's related to cabbage, kale, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, all part of that Brassica oleracea family.
Okay, so connecting this back to Val. Resistance, bitterness, armor. How does that work?
The notes paint broccoli as rugged, maybe underestimated, but packed with vital nutrients and inner strength. It symbolizes that resistance. Like broccoli, Val is seen as tough, nourishing, functional, fierce. She can endure harsh conditions, even regrow after being cut back.
And that key phrase for broccoli.
I'm not here to be easy. I'm here to fortify.
That says a lot. It's not about being palatable. It's about providing strength.
Precisely. The slight bitterness sometimes found in broccoli is linked to Val's honesty, her willingness to present uncomfortable truths. Its sturdy, tree-like form mirrors her strength and groundedness, and the defensive compounds common in cruciferous vegetables.
Like her defending boundaries.
Exactly, her resolve in protecting her values. But the notes also add a nuance. Just like broccoli becomes crisp tender when cooked properly, Val's sharpness can soften slightly when trust is earned. She adapts, but she doesn't break.
That's a really layered interpretation. Okay, on to our final category, which sounds intense. Acidic foods. For Val, this means precision and unapologetic truth.
Yes, this is about flavors with a low pH, bright, sour, tangy tastes. Think lemon juice, vinegar, certain fruits.
What role do they play in food?
They're crucial. Acidity cuts through richness, balances sweetness or umami, brightens flavors, makes things taste fresh. Symbolically, it's linked to purification, awakening, even unmasking things.
And Val embodies this.
According to the notes, yes. She doesn't just appreciate acidity, she is acidity in some ways. The notes say, acid tests the integrity of a dish. Val tests the integrity of the self.
Wow, okay, let's break down some examples. Lemon and lime.
Symbolism there is clarity, purification, decisiveness. Like lemon zest cutting through dullness, Val cuts through fluff, sharpens situations, exposes truth. The notes have a great line. She would drizzle citrus over mediocrity and call it motivation.
Huh. Okay, what about pickles and sauerkraut?
These represent preservation through transformation. Pickling involves pressure, time, controlled fermentation. It mirrors how Val processes trauma or injustice, not letting it destroy her, but fermenting it into fuel. They're sour because they endured.
Val doesn't rot. She evolves. That's from the notes.
Yes, it captures that transformation perfectly.
Then there's balsamic vinegar and Worcestershire sauce.
Complexity, intensity, balance. These start simple but develop deep character through aging, fermentation. That's Val's journey, too.
Sure.
Her anger isn't raw, it's aged into purpose. Her discipline simmers with intention. She reduces emotions until they concentrate into something palatable, but never weak.
Interesting comparison. What about tart fruits like grapefruit, cranberries, gooseberries?
The notes call this beauty with a bite. They look vibrant, appealing, but then hit you with that tartness. Val has that energy, a radiant presence, but with a sharp, challenging discipline underneath.
Graceful but speaks like challenge.
Yeah.
Got it. And things like ceviche or sour herring.
Raw truths cured by acid. Ceviche uses lime juice to essentially cook fish without heat transformation through intensity. Val leads through clarity, not comfort. She marinates people in questions until they reveal truth. Sour herring is even more direct, representing confronting injustice head-on, that sort of feral acidity.
Okay, and fermented foods generally. Kimchi, buttermilk, goat cheese.
Controlled chaos turned into strength. Val respects fermentation, how struggle and discomfort can lead to something stronger, more cultured. She believes struggle is fertile, embraces life's acidic edge.
And finally, pure enhancers like citric acid, lime zest, tamarul.
These are tools of refinement. They aren't the main event, but they elevate everything else. That's Val's role in a system. She doesn't just participate. She sharpens, clarifies, elevates the whole thing. A distillation of clarity.
So this whole acidic energy, what's the essence of it for Val?
Well, acid reacts. It doesn't ask permission. Val is like that. The notes describe her as the test strip that reveals where the rot is hiding, the splash of lemon that makes a bland life taste like something again. She's also the fermented vinegar that took time and pain, but is now indispensable.
Did the notes mention any change or evolution in this aspect?
Yes, her 2025 reflections show a shift from being a lone warrior to a collective climber, learning that acid can heal as well as cut, that boldness needs some softness, tartness needs trust.
But she didn't lose her edge entirely.
No, never lost the edge. She remained, as the notes say, the palate cleanser and the punchline, the squeeze of truth. It became acidity with purpose.
It's a really compelling framework for understanding a personality.
It truly is. The final thought in the notes on this is powerful. Val is not here to be sweet. She's here to wake you up, to break down falsehoods, to preserve integrity. And like potent acidic foods, she leaves a lasting impression.
This whole deep dive into Val's food notes has been, well, really eye-opening. It shows how much symbolic meaning can be packed into the everyday things we eat.
It definitely invites you to look at things, maybe yourself included, in a new light.
Absolutely. So here's something to leave you with, a thought to chew on. What foods or maybe experiences in your own life, when you put them under a bit of pressure or add that touch of, let's say, healthy acidity, what hidden character or surprising transformations might they reveal?
It's an interesting question to ponder, how symbolism can offer these unique perspectives.
Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.